all of those other things. That's when that comes into play when you're not a genuine,
human being.
Exactly, with good morals and character and integrity. Now, yeah, what you got to understand, men date and women date with intentions for different reasons.
Okay.
A lot of women believe in hypergamy. We went over that plenty of times. I mean, they like men to be providers and protectors. A man to make more than them and to be able to take care of the home, to be able to provide and protect more than just finances and physical. You have to protect the woman more than just physically. You got to protect them, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of those other things. I mean, so once you see this man and he's that's where the phrase show ponies come from. You look good, but you're only for show. Can this man lead your home? Can he lead you in a relationship and in a household and in life and in business and in other things? I mean, can he truly lead more than just in the bedroom?
Or is he going to lead you to the gates ahead?
All right, here we are back at it. Candid Conversations. We on the road to 5 years old, and we back at it with another episode. Welcome. I'm not your host. I'm the side host, the regular host, the real host. She's just a blob with a circle right now. So we're gonna bring her up and get this show started. Kyra.
Thank you so very much. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Sorry for my appearance. I'll be back in full effect on Tuesday, next Tuesday. So I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful day today. Y'all caught my video? Y'all see somebody trying to steal my show? We'll talk about that later.
So the one everybody want to hate, we ain't got no choice but to love, because he got data. Bring him on out here.
Ain't nobody hate me. They love me. I got voted favorite Candid Conversation co-host. I lost the post, but I saw it. It was just somewhere out there. I don't know. I lost it. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. Good to be back. I'm in a different. Feel a little different. Feel a little different right now. I'm feeling good. Feeling real good.
He free. Praise the Lord. He free.
Let's keep that. Let's keep. I don't need no jinx. Oh God! But this is the this is so fitting. This title that we it's so fitting. So I'm excited. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna listen because I ain't do no research on this. I'm sorry. I was doing a little work. So, but I like it.
But I like it.
I love it. You like it? I love it. All right, everybody.
What year was Sean born in? Why? Hold on.
Huh?
What year I was born in?
That's somebody asked.
85.
What's up, ladies?
Wow. 73. I'm the OG up here.
1873.
Jerk.
She tried to make you something. She said she needed to finish it.
Appreciate it. Oh, I hope.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I'm sorry.
So we have all seen the social media post of Donald Trump. A lot of people are not happy with President Trump. Y'all president. And recently there was this thing that was going like viral, which was the child support for 2026, because it definitely will not be for this tax season. And everybody had their panties up in a bunch, women losing their damn minds.
Yeah, they should.
Over something that was not accurate. And not saying that that he doesn't have a plan for child support, it just wasn't that. So we gonna talk about it, and let's make 1 + 1 = 2. Derek, you can show the videos.
Oh my God, Trump just tweeted, if you put your baby daddy on child support, that the baby daddy now gets all of the income tax. What?
What exactly is Trump's new child support law? On January 17th of this year, there was a lot of conversation about this new law that Trump tweeted, saying that if you put someone on child support, you now would not be able to also claim that child on your individual taxes. The issue, though, is that this rumor has been debunked. Even the original videos that were very hyped talking about this new law failed to include what the original tweet was, and there have been no such tweets found on Trump's official social media accounts. What we can expect to possibly happen, though, relates to how the child tax credit could apply come 2026. Under the Biden administration, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act allowed individual filers who earn up to $200,000 to receive the $2,000 child tax credit. If this law were to toll in 2026, so during Trump's administration, then that cap would be reduced all the way back down to $75,000.
Ooh.
So there you have it. That is what the child support credit tax, tax credit would be like for next year. So it would be like both parents would be able to claim their child on their income tax if that father or parent, mother, father is paying your child support.
I like that.
But I'm going to read exactly what is in, because that's not all of it, but I'm going to read everything. So y'all listen very closely, because I'm only reading it once. Okay. Child support tax credit. National or state guidelines and tax laws should be updated to ensure that non-resident parents with child support orders can receive a non-dependent child support tax credit. That's what he's calling it. See, now I lost my... Oh, here we go. Single filers up to $41,756 and married, or joint filers up to $47,642 will be eligible for a child support tax credit similar to the current earned income tax credit. They can receive a maximum of $538 in returns for one child and a maximum of $3,584 for two or more children. A child support tax credit would use the low-income non-resident parents' own earned income and history of employment to assist them in the task of caring for their children. And this is something else that's supposed to be implemented with the child support. It says that this is the key. The key to the policy is to empower fathers with their own resources and money, rather than creating another government assistance program devoid of the father's own monetary efforts. This way, the non-resident father role is as financial provider is affirmed and much needed resources are given to the child. Also, each state will implement a high-tech, easy-to-use application to centralize child support payments. The same way you do with Venmo or Cash App, non-resident parents would link their bank accounts and provide one-click monthly payments or contribute throughout the month while tracking how much is due. Additionally, the non-resident parent can track informal gifts from money, groceries, clothes, sports gear, and more through the app. So basically, how y'all been asking, y'all want to know what are you buying with this child support money? So there'll be an app where you will be able to pay your child support payments, but you'll also be able to see what that parent, the other parent that is receiving the child support, you'll be able to see what they're purchasing with the money. Y'all happy now?
I mean, I heard there's some red flags there, because I didn't hear of a limit of how much one is to pay to be eligible for that, because you got some mothers and fathers that only pay like $25 a week. So if you're paying $25, that make you eligible as the head of household, because that's what taxes are once you're eligible to claim your head of household. I know in the past, or where we are right now, they say unless you're approved by a judge, you're only able to claim the child if you have the child for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. But a judge can approve if you're just residential, non-residential. A judge can approve that to where you will be able to do year by year. So I can't see if somebody, let's say, is paying, $30 or $50, now you're able to claim the child when you're not really contributing. I'm not going to say en masse, but contributing at least a good amount. The other thing is I keep hearing fathers. I wouldn't think that a government program like that would say it's done for fathers. It should be like the ending of what you were reading, non-residential and residential, because there's fathers who have.
It was saying non-residential in it.
No, in the middle of when you were explaining it, when you was reading it, it said it's to empower fathers, and right before that it was fathers would only would be able to blah blah blah. They were naming fathers versus non-residential parents. Mm-hmm. Residential and non-residential would be the right terminology for that, because you have some fathers that's residential versus just being gender biased. So that's the only other thing that I saw that was a red flag, to where I was like, is this actually true? So when I start seeing that, It seems like, you know, it was just a red flag for me. Once you start saying, "Oh, they doing this for fathers," when they should be doing that for non-residential parents, not just fathers.
I get that part. What do you think, Derek?
I'm unaffected.
Well, hell, I'm unaffected too. But what do you think?
I think in the hands of the right person, this could be beneficial. But going the way how this country's been going, it's never going to fall into the hands of the right person. So I think it's a thought out, it's a nice idea, but I would have to see the rollout before I can even say like, oh, this is where it's at, or this is a come up for non-residential parents.
That's what I'm saying. So if a non-residential parent isn't paying a substantial amount of child support, you think that they should be able to file
Well, what's the
taxes for that child?
Well,
because I didn't hear a limit. I didn't hear a dollar amount.
Yeah, they put a bunch of dollar. They didn't put a amount of how much you pay, but it's you only could be making the income limits are so low. Most of us won't even qualify for it. I think what did it say, Kyra? Like 34,000 and 48,000 combined.
Yeah, if it's joint, it's 47. If it's single, it's 41,000. So rounded off to $42,000 and $48,000.
Like the income limits are so low, most people won't even qualify for it. You have to be literally unemployed or working.
Well, $40,000 a year is $20 an hour.
Yeah, but who's living off of $40,000 a year?
Well, how many people make $20 an hour? A lot of people.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. And so the income is so low for that level. The income is so low. How much could you expect? That's those brothers who have to work 3 jobs and do 7 overtimes, just to be able to pay child support and stay out of jail.
I mean, but your child support is based on what you make, not what I want you to pay.
Right, is what you make. So if they're taking 30% of what you make, and now you have to work a certain, and you're making under 42,000. Like you.
Thing is, if you got a woman, let's say to just throw bias on it, a gender on it. If you got a woman that's making, let's say, 70,000 a year, 75,000 a year, and you got a man that's making 30,000 a year, he's making $15 an hour, but he's paying child support. His child support is going to be lower because she makes more.
Right.
So if let's say he's paying $75 a week, I don't think that he should be able to claim the child. I think she should, because she's carrying the bulk of.
But they're both
what the child needs.
They're both for claiming the child. It's not even about who claims the child. They're giving both of them a child
tax credit.
No, that's all I was saying. The red flags that I seen initially, I'm not talking about that one. That was the one that was the latter. I was talking about the one where they say that the father is able to claim the child.
Right, but that was a lie.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was talking about. The red flag that I see. Right. That's what I was talking about.
The guy got on to confess and let people know, like, yep, it was me.
Yeah, that's why I was saying. That's why my apologies for not clarifying. That's when the red flags that I seen, like, just when that came out, I was like, oh, just because you pay child support, now it gives you the opportunity to. I was like, I don't sound.
I don't know if I pay $75. If I'm paying $75 a week, that's $300 a month. If I'm making $15, if I'm making $15 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
I'm only clearing I'm clearing a little bit over $3,000 a month.
Okay.
That's a big chunk of change that's a big chunk of change that's coming out of my check monthly. So to say that I don't deserve to get it back just because my job only pays me $15, I don't know if that's a fair statement to say.
No, what I said it. My description was if she made 75,000 and you made 30, and you
Right.
contributed, if she's carrying a bulk of the load, why should you be able to file the taxes if she's carrying the bulk of the load? She should be able to take it to file the taxes because she's carrying the majority of the cost for the child existing.
Mm-hmm. That's
Not you. You're just contributing and at a small rate. That's what I was saying. Not just that you pay, because child support is based on what the non-residential parent and the residential parent makes. That's the way it's based on, not just, I'm just going to give you this number. That number is based on what you guys make. So if she's way up there and you way down there, and some you can have some people that take on lesser paying jobs so they don't have to pay high child support deliberately, and then work under the table.
Right.
So if she's carrying the load, I think that, it was only right, in that type of scenario, because there's a whole lot of scenarios we can throw out there.
You're right. No lies told. There's a whole lot of scenarios.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of scenarios. And to Raquel, just to she said child support needs to do home visits too. Well, part of this so-called plan that he wants to implement, visitation is going to be equal if that parent is put on child support. So they're both going to be, the non-residential parent is going to also have his time, his visitation, and the other parent is too. So they have to split the visitation in half.
Which is tough to get. 50-50 time is not the easy thing to get, especially in our system. And just to add on to this, I think I said it on
that the most effective way to lower the non-resident parents, the non-resident parents' monthly child support is to spend more court-accounted time with the child.
Yes.
So child support, along with visitation, a child support court with its visitation court order is to ensure that the resident and the non-resident parents receive state-mandated financial support orders and enforceable visitation orders.
Yes, and that is defined with at least 10 hours of the day, which goes into lowering your child support. Block time, just having joint custody doesn't allow, for it to be decreased. It has to be time. Mm-hmm. I mean, so you can have joint custody, but if you don't have the time, it may not be considered. But let's say if you get something called block time, which is a block of time, which can be the summer, which could be whenever the child is out at school, like spring break or Thanksgiving time, and you have the child for that time, Christmas, the stretch, or weekends. You're having a child for consecutive days. That will lower it. But this one thing that I don't know if I said it in a past show, but I know I spoke on it before. When you have people that pay years and years of child support, right? And the one thing that I spoke to a friend of mine that's in a high level government position, that to look into, can a percentage of child support be put into a silent account where the child will get that percentage of the child support once they turn 19? Because 19 in New Jersey is the emancipation age now. That was passed a couple years ago. So at the age of 19, the child is automatically emancipated. You would have to go to court. The residential parent would have to go to court to extend child support unless you're grandfathered in. So the child support automatically stops at 19 now in New Jersey. But if a child is been on child support for, the last 19 years or, whatsoever, and when that child get off child support, let's say that child don't have any of that support that was given by the non-residential parent. So I spoke to a friend of mine in the United States government to see if they can roll up some type of legislation to where, let's say, 10% of that child support goes into a silent fund. And then once that that non-residential parent is off child support, that funding, whether it's 19 or 21, whatever the parents come up with, that check can go to the child to start a business, to go to school, to start a family, whatever it is. But 10% of the child support can actually go into a silent account. Because I know somebody, right, Miss Host, I know somebody that just got off child support. And they paid around $250,000 in child support. Let's say if 10% of all of that would have went into a silent account, those children or that child right now would get a $25,000, if it was 10%, $25,000 check handed to them to start a business or something. But instead, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be something great implemented, and it can be shared by both parents because it's for the betterment of the child's future. For some of that funding to go into a silent account, so when that child is off child support and they're thrusted into the world, they have that check to say, here, this is for school, this is for a business, this is to start your family, whatever the case may be, instead of 19 years of that child, it was just bills and whatever the case may have been needed, but at least 10% of that funding from the non-residential parent would have went into that silent account for that child's future, or to go into whatever that child wanted to go into.
But I don't know if that was fair, because then you're getting a check from only one parent. So the other parent raised you and struggled and may have had to do a couple of strange things for some pieces of change to get you what you need. But then the other parent, the non-custodial parent, is the one who, at the end of it, they're being handed the child is being handed a check that pretty much came from the other parent, who didn't go through the struggle, but now they look as white as clean. They look as white as the fresh pair Air Force Ones.
But
Like,
it's for the betterment of the child. It ain't for any of those things that you mentioned. And like that's why I said it can be a shared thing. It don't have to be it can be 10%. Let's say if a father or mother is paying $75 a week, add on $7.50. So now it's $77.50, which will go into a silent account. Whatever it is, I'm just thinking about the child because, like I said, I know somebody that just got off child support and they paid over $250,000. But now, what about the child or children going into the world? They could actually be handed a $25,000 check to go pay for school or start a family, or start a business, or something like that, to where you can monetize some of that funding for the child, the child's future going into adulthood versus just because child support isn't supposed to be one-sided. Remember, I said child support is one parent, the other parent's income combined to come up with a number.
right?
Mhm.
So it's for both of you guys. That's why I said if that child support went into this fund, 10% of that or 5% of that going into a silent, I think that would be dope. To where, once you get off child support, you get some type of, funding. Because the same way you say the mothers or the fathers, the residential parent, they struggled and they this, that, and the third. What about the ones that piss that money away? They don't do nothing for the child. We have those situations as well.
Touche.
So at least that child can have some type of benefit of the non-residential parent busting his or her behind
But
to be
here's
able to get. Yeah, I'm sorry.
here's the thing that I think people would rethink the whole child support model, right? If both parents had to pay into child support, it would be a lot less people being put on child support.
But that don't kind of make sense, though. What do you mean?
It does, because if as you said, it's mom, there's two people, two incomes that draw up a number that says that this amount is going to pay, this amount is going to raise a child. So if they say, all right, mom, dad, y'all both are going to pay $300 a week. That's $600 a week collectively. That's going into an account that the custodial parent has access to purchase and to make purchases and do what they need to do for the child. I can almost guarantee you that.
But would somebody monitor that, or like how would that work? Because a lot of times what child support does is pay back what the residential parent already paid for. Because that child, some of your child support may go to the roof that's over your child's head, or
Right.
the food that's put in your children's mouth. Sometimes mom already done paid that.
Yeah.
So once that child support check comes, it's just to put back what I already spent.
But it's just like they said with this app, you'll be able to track what the money for the child support will go into, I guess, this certain account which comes with a card. And
a couple states been thinking about doing that for years.
And both the non-custodial and the custodial parent both will have access to see the purchases that are being made for the child from
Right.
that child support.
Because if we're gonna be honest, just because you reimbursing the roof over paying the rent, but I'm not living under this house by myself. My child is not living here by themselves. There's a group of people that lives under this roof too. So you get your money back for the roof over my head, I don't think really counts because
What do you mean it don't count?
because it's not solely my house. It's not my roof. I'm sharing this roof with other individuals.
I mean, it could be just her and the child.
Still,
Yeah.
her.
I mean,
So for someone to say I'm being reimbursed for the money I paid to keep a roof over our head, when you need that roof over your head just as much as I need the roof over my head. So there's two people that's benefiting from this one roof. So you being reimbursed is kind of crazy because then where's your part that paid for the roof?
you know I'm a men's advocate. You know I am to a heart. But I also have to go into there's a lot of incidentals and a lot of things that we don't take into consideration of the residential parent versus the non-residential parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just transportation alone, insurance, when a child is sick, clothing, sneakers, birthdays, a lot of things that the non-residential parent don't see or share because they're, out of sight, out of mind. I mean, so when you have a residential parent who cares for a child all the time, just heat in air conditioning alone, I mean, could be,
that's all stuff that they're benefiting from as well.
No, I'm not saying that they're not benefiting from. I'm saying the contribution that a residential parent have to consider or be considered for, the non-residential parent doesn't. Just snacks alone, just certain things that you don't even think about. I'm pretty sure, there's things that a non-residential parent have no clue of what's going on, that the residential parent has to weigh, have to handle. And they just do it on instinct. I know some moms, they just handle it. Like you hear a cough, on my way home, let me stop at such and such and get some Robitussin. Let me get some chamomile tea. Let me such and such. Oh, she wants some nuggets. Let me grab some nuggets on my way home. That's stuff that the non-residential parent have no clue of what's truly going on besides cutting a check. And when they pick the child up, unless that father says, because you do have fathers that's like this, that says, hey, do you need anything? You want me to go and pick some stuff up? It happens. But all I'm saying is, you do have to consider the residential parent has to bear a lot of the weight what goes on with the child, because the non-residential parent have no clue of the day-to-day actions and interactions of the child. You know what I mean? Like me being, me being the statistic in that. I mean, not one time I remember, well, I ain't going to say not one time, but let's say when my kids, saying, hey, they need notebooks, they need pens, like throughout the year, I'm pretty sure she done stopped and grabbed some new notebook paper and, the toilet paper they use, all like you have to think about all aspects of the lotion and it lip, like everything. It's a lot that goes into caring for a child that a non-residential parent have no clue of what's going on, because mom just handles it, or dad just doing their hair. I wouldn't even know what grease to go get. I'd be getting wave grease. Y'all already probably be looking at me like, what's this?
And their hair be swimming.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot that goes on. So I'm not saying that neither one don't contribute. It's just I understand that that residential parent sometimes bears a lot of the weight that we don't consider. Because the day I'm talking about the 24-hour day to day to day child support is paid weekly or bi-weekly, but you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know what I mean? They bear a lot of that weight. So I can understand that, respect that. I could. So that money that goes back when that parent, that residential parent, then paid for this and paid for that and paid for this and paid for that, and then they finally get that child support check. Does it go back to some of the stuff that that residential parent had to pay for? I wouldn't trip on that. Now, if my child wasn't getting or wasn't looking like they were being cared for, they were wearing bummy clothes or clothes wasn't clean or they wasn't getting haircuts or anything like that, and your nails and hair and eyelashes is tight, your clothes is tight, now we got a problem.
Well, I think if they incorporate, if you're going to do your child support, all right, child support for whomever, but I do think that they should split the time with the kid. Like, let's say 6 months, child stay with the mother, 6 months, child stay with the father. It's an equal split.
That's tough too, though.
Why?
Because say if they don't live in the same city, you're going to take that child out of the school system and put them in another school system?
No. You wouldn't.
That can be detrimental to the child as well.
It could be.
Because now you're breaking up that child's, learning. You may be taking that child out of a good school system and putting them in a worse school system, or, a lot of different things. So there's a lot that go on into this that a lot of people don't think about, that sometimes who never went through it. Like, I noticed that a lot. Some people that may not really have been through the family court system, they have a lot of opinions and advice on some things that maybe they don't understand the trial and error of this. I mean, sometimes
that's how you come up with solutions. Because if everybody just complaining about the problem, but nobody's coming up with anything, then it's just a problem with no solutions.
I agree, but your trial and error in different things was paramount. It makes a bigger difference. Trial and error in something like this is something that your risk factor you don't want to take on as much as am I buying paper or plastic? You know what I mean? Like, the risk factor in the trial and error is something a little different. I mean, so now we say, okay, for the next 5 years, we're going to take these children and we're going to let them go 6 months over there and 6 months over there. By the time that 5 or 10 years in, that child may be so damaged because
it's not something that you have to stick with. But if both parents live in the same city and state, what's the problem with that?
State, I don't know. City, I can understand because that child may still go to the same school. But state, the father or the mother, they may live 3 cities away in between. Mm-hmm. And then now the child is late. Now the child can't get to school. Now the child can't go to extracurricular activities because one parent don't have a car. The other parent have a car. One parent, they deal with substance abuse. The other parent, they don't deal with substance abuse. So it's a lot that goes into this.
It is. Because I think we all got kids and we all know what the struggles is when you dealing with children.
Yes.
And whether you with that person or you co-parenting or whatever your situation is, we all know how difficult it is. But we also still all know there is still issues and problems that everybody just keep complaining about, but nobody's coming up with no solutions to the problem.
I agree. That's just like I totally sidebar. I totally understand that not everybody that's on child support should have been put on child support. Sometimes child support, some people are put on child support because of spitefulness and payback.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I don't disagree with that, because that is a true factor why some people are put on child support.
Yeah, you don't want to be with me, I'm going to pay you back. You know, and maybe that residential parent pissed some of that money away, but now me as a non-residential parent, I can't do what I normally have done, you know, to take my child on outings or, you know, buy them what they want or what they need because this person is being spiteful. Or even buy me, you know, pay for a better apartment or a house or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. But a lot of times there's people that's put on child support that really wasn't even supposed to be on child support. It was done out of spitefulness.
Thomas, was that a question? Thomas said, if the mother has custody and the father lives in a nicer neighborhood with better schools, shouldn't, I'm assuming you saying shouldn't the father have custody? That necessarily doesn't mean the father should have custody just because he lives in a nicer neighborhood and it got better schools.
Yeah, he may be a damaged person. He may not be he may not have the time. He may not, you know, have right people around him. You know, there's a lot of factors that go into it. And I truly believe, I agree with him that, you know, not all the time the residential parent should always be the mom. You know, because I don't want my grass messed up, but statistically, you know, single dads fare better, you know, statistically, for whatever reasons, maybe because they're more stern, maybe because of the fear factor, but, you know, single dads actually, the statistics are better in a single father household than a single mom household. I mean, so I never understood, as far, let's say, like for the last 5 years, I've been doing that research, why the child automatically goes, you know, with one parent instead of putting everything on the table and saying, okay, if it's truly for the betterment of the child, then why not look into who is the best, what is best, what is the best place for this child to be? Not just because it's mom.
No, I don't think it should be just because it's mom, but I think that when you put in somebody or wanting to put somebody on child support, and if you feel as though as the father and as the mother, if y'all want custody or y'all want residential custody of that child, then y'all both should be asking for it. And then therefore,
I totally agree.
You go to court, that's already on the table.
100% agree.
I feel like we're way too selfish as parents. We're way too selfish. We think about ourselves, and then we expect that for our children to just bounce back or be resilient and fight through. And that's why we stand in these situations where we having these kind of dialogues or these kind of conversations. When I met Rebecca, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna stay in here a little bit longer. Then I should have made up my mind that when I sat in there that I was gonna have to deal with Rebecca for 18 years, 19 years. I was going to deal with Rebecca. Even if me and Rebecca didn't get along, we both needed to be in the same space or same area so that we can raise our child together, rather than I'm here part-time and she's here full-time, or I'm here financially, but she's there emotionally and everything else. We need to be more responsible and think of the child.
The child, yes.
It's more than just having a good time. It's more than just, I'll just pay for it later. It's okay. This child needs both their parents. And we shouldn't be sitting here battling over who gets this child, because we both need to be fully in this child's life.
Let me ask you this. Because I've seen a lot of people have this discussion. Do you put your own happiness to the side for the betterment of the child?
You're supposed to. You're supposed to.
I agree.
That
A
child.
lot of people are not willing to do that.
No, nobody's willing to do it.
Don't say nobody, because I'm willing to.
You're right. You're right. I'm just saying. I think it was a couple of weeks back. I was having a conversation about cat. I spoke to Kyra about it too. Where you find that men will forego their happiness,
Suffer in silence
for their family, but women will give up their family for their happiness.
The statement is, a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family. A woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness.
Right.
So, I've seen that phrase. I've seen that. I wasn't gonna say it, but I've seen it.
No, I've seen it, and then I walked around and asked questions because I really wanted to see was any validity to it. Which I kind of realized that it's a cultural thing. Because when you go to other cultures and ask those women, they will give up. They're going to pick their family over their happiness.
Over their happiness, yes.
So it's easy for us to walk away.
I'm so glad it ain't my grass this episode.
It's easy for us to walk away, because as we go all the way back into history, they made the black man being in the household an obsolete thing. The government made it easy for black women to live without a black man in the house. So it's easier to say, I don't need to worry about my kids' happiness because they'll be all right, because I'm going to be all right. But if I stay here in this situation, I'm not going to be all right, and it's not going to be any good to my kids or anybody else connected to me.
Yeah, I like how you put it. I'm going to be all right, and you're going to do as I say.
Right.
Because the kid, just because you feel you're going to be all right, don't mean that the kid is good.
Right.
Yeah.
But we make the decision that kid's going to be good. I've heard it been said like, oh, she's going to be good. If you hear not, oh, she's going to be good.
But that don't mean that the kid going to be good.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not a challenge. I agree with you. And to go back to what you said before, what you just said, a lot of times you'll have fathers go into family court forfeiting their rights to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's automatically assumed that mom has custody when nobody has custody of the child.
Right.
Initially, nobody has custody of the child. When you go to family court, that's when they determine what's going to go on with the child. So when you have a child, neither one of you have custody of the child. When you go to court, that's when it's determined. So dads or moms, whoever go to court for a visitation, you can ask for custody.
Yep.
You don't have to say, oh, well, I'm going to take weekends. No, you can go in there and say, I want my child. And then you put up your fight. But a lot of times, a lot of men I known, seeing it myself, they go in already defeated because they have the assumption that mom automatically has custody because she birthed the child, when that's not the case. And that father may be financially more available, or have a better environment, like you said, or have a better household. Who knows? But they'll go into the situation giving up their rights, not knowing that they have more rights than they think they have.
Right.
So I've seen that hundreds of times. I've counseled many men that didn't even realize what rights they had. You know what I mean? They didn't even know. It was like, yeah, I can get Christmas. Yeah, they have a holiday visitation schedule, and besides what your normal visitation is. So if you go into the state county court, you can say, hey, what I need a copy of the holiday visitation schedule I want to attach to my motion. So instead of just your weekends, instead of just your Tuesday or your Wednesday, you also get a holiday schedule with you guys alternate. You can also ask for, which we started with, you can also ask for to file taxes for your child. And you can alternate years. The judge can approve that. So it's a lot of things that is left off the table because you don't know it. You just going in and just receive whatever they give you. When it's like, no, you go in, you ask for this. You ask that you can be able to file taxes for your child. You ask for a holiday schedule. You ask for block time so you can get them in the summertime. You ask that, you get joint custody, or I want full custody, and they bank that down back to joint custody. At least you got that. There's things that you need to ask for going into family court. But I also understand with Derek, family, fight for your family. Because the true family dynamic is what's best for the child. And it's statistically proven. It's not just opinionated. You can look into the stats and see that the nuclear family is the best, gives the child the best opportunity to thrive. The traditional nuclear family.
And on that note, we have gumbled up our hour, and it is time to go. Boy. As y'all can see, Derek was back there doing the two-step with his eyeballs.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He was reading something.
I'm sorry. He was just resting his eyes. That's it.
He was reading something on his desk.
Derek was resting his eyes. He always does. He resting his eyes.
Throw my boy under the table. He was reading something on his desk.
Derek know what he was doing, and he very proud. That's why he put the hood on. He put the hood on top of his head.
I put the hood on my head because it's cold down here. That's why I put the hood on my head.
Uh-huh. Good night, Pinky. Once again, we thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank y'all for hanging with us for this hour. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next week. What is next week? Same time, same place. Is we gonna be in February next week?
Yes, ma'am.
Good Lord, time flies.
Mm-hmm. Getting closer and closer to my vacation.
Definitely. Oh, damn,
my vacations are in order.
Jesus. We just got into 2025.
Black History Month.
Yeah.
Deacon Comedy's taking a vacation too. I don't know when, but I'm taking a vacation. I'm going with some water, and I can sleep when I want to sleep and wake up when I want to wake up.
We're doing New Orleans in March.
That's
we're doing Dominican Republic in May. Then we're going down to Virginia. We got Cozumel. Am I saying it right?
You got who?
Cozumel. Am I saying it right?
I don't think
Mexico. So. We're doing a cruise there, so we're gonna work it out. Princess is graduating this year, so everybody give it up for my princess. She's graduating out of college, her 5th year for chemical engineering. So I'm super proud of her.
That's in May, right?
That's in May. She'll be back home. I get my baby back.
In May.
Mm-hmm. And today's my son's birthday, so anybody that know my son Dior, we'll
Happy
see him.
birthday.
And happy birthday to my boy. He's 28.
Damn, showing you old. That's why I don't tell nobody my kids' ages. They none of your
Man, that's my guy.
Yeah, never be out here counting my age. But happy birthday, Dijon. Happy birthday. Your father, your father, old man.
Yeah. I hit him a minute ago. We're gonna go do lunch.
That's
We're
cool.
gonna go do lunch. I'm already broke from their Valentine's Day, so I already got almost all their Valentine's stuff out of the way. So I'm broke.
Oh, Derek, your birthday coming up too.
Yep.
That damn Aquarius over there.
Hold up, I got something for you too, Derek. Now that you think about it, I got cruise line giving free cruises to police, fire, dispatchers, teachers, blah 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 blah. All yeah.
Yeah, send me that.
Nothing.
Yeah. That's why I'm going Cozumel.
Send me that.
Yeah.
Well, all right, beautiful people. We thank y'all for joining us tonight. We'll see y'all next week. It will be, I guess it's the Black History Month, the month of love, and whatever else y'all want to add to the month of February. The Aquarius is taking over that month. So we'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. And y'all let me know if y'all see the imposters. That y'all got to see this podcast on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Imposters, what?
That tried to carbon copy this podcast. It's so funny. Y'all try to guess who was who. But we'll see y'all next week.
We'll talk offline.
Peace, love, and blessings.